think that could possibly be? Because I'm not sure.
Something about this. Yeah.
Any ideas?
So one thing we're going to talk about later is that it's hard to get
so what do you guys
language through pictures.
Dots.
Okay,
So is it just one dot?
No, it's numerous.
Okay. Yeah.
Alliteration. Why do you think it's alliteration?
People make a picture
Because it uses the same sound.
Okay. So now it's
Okay. So
our turn. So I
an image it uses a repeating image over and over.
And so is that what you guys had?
Yeah.
Oh, and so that's it. Can we see your example for that? Or is the repetition?
Yeah. So show like water.
So as soon as
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna be interacting with this group next as soon as they're done. So. Yeah. So did you just want to share your picture or the?
I want
To do that? Okay.
she can do it with another person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So do you want to, since these guys are still going, do you want to judge somebody else in this group?
Okay. So then.
Yeah. Either one of you, whoever wants to do it.
Okay, let's not touch
Yeah.
that.
Let's just
Pay attention to this. Yeah.
Okay, so why don't you ask Jessica to choose one.
So yeah, do you guys want to, somebody want to start? So do you.
How are we on time?
Like we saw in the examples.
Yes.
And the ones that you guys made up. So those make really powerful images, right?
Now we're going to be talking about literary or figurative language in artwork and visual things. So what we're actually going to be looking at is, can you actually think of a figurative language example that you see visually? Maybe what is Julia wearing? She has horses on her shirt, and okay, well, animals. She has animals on her shirt, and so there's a lot of them, right? So it seems like they're repeating. What were you going to say?
Alliteration.
Yeah. Okay.
So
So
it's similar to alliteration.
why would you say it's similar to alliteration? Okay. So what about this? What would this be?
Alliteration.
Okay. And there's alliteration here. What about this?
Alliteration.
Yeah. I see a lot of alliteration. Even here, there's alliteration. So be noticing those things as we walk downstairs.
So there's one thing I noticed. Alliteration is pretty easy to point out. I want to challenge you guys to think of other things like metaphor. How can that lion be a metaphor?
Leopard.
Leopard, I'm sorry. So how can the leopard be a metaphor? So it's running, and which means so it might be comparing a person to an animal. It's really fast. Awesome. So as we're going down, we're going to look around for things like that, and feel free to point them out to us.
So look at Stacey. She has the black sweater on.
Coordinate kind of name.
Stand up, everybody. Stand up, please.
Whatever.
Okay, guys, there are a few rules we have to go over before we go down to the idea space. They're very simple, but it's very, very important you follow them, okay? Just a little higher. But here, I want you guys to help me fill out the rest of the rules, okay? So, number one, what do we use to see?
Our eyes.
All right. You guys can just shout it out, okay? Okay, eyes. What do we use to touch?
Fingers.
Hands. Okay.
Fingers works too.
I have hands. Okay. What do we use to see paintings?
Eyes.
Eyes. Now the most.
Eyes.
In a
We know
minute.
it's eyes.
Okay.
It's eyes.
Thank you.
You want to stick it up there?
There we go. These are all Post-its. Okay, and the most important thing. Let's combine what we just said. See with our
eyes,
not with our
hands.
Okay, that keeps on falling. We know it's
Good point, right?
We're good. Okay, and the last thing. Okay, let's see. What does it say at the bottom? How far should we stay away from the walls? How far do we want to stay?
So can you actually come here? Okay. So this far. Can everybody do this?
Can everybody do this?
Okay, so it'll
That-
be like about, now relate it to yourself, go like this. About this far.
So we don't want to be touching the paintings or the walls. Okay, guys?
Will we able to take pictures of the painting? I don't think so.
You'd have to ask. You'd have to ask.
We can ask.
We can ask afterwards.
Okay.
Okay.
Follow me.
Yes, do take your reports.
Yeah, leave the group.
Okay, so everybody, we're going to be going downstairs, so you can grab your clipboards if you want. Should we catch you? Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if this is
think I've got ours if you want mine.
Does anybody want a cootie catcher? Yeah. It may not be yours. Okay, so we're going to go downstairs. Can anybody see? What is this? Alliteration, how could it be a metaphor? It's not comparing two things.
I want to put it.
What about them?
Okay.
It's like a pixel picture.
Yeah, it's like a pixel, just lots of little dots. Yeah. Okay, so it's like a pixel, just lots of little dots. Yeah, anything else? You're going to say the dots? Okay. Yeah. Okay, why is it an alliteration? Okay, good. So it's something in the same pattern. This poem is actually has to do with ideas about marriage. Thumbs up if you do this meaning has to do with marriage. Thumbs down has to do with no.
That's really hard to understand.
So why do you think the artist might use techniques that would make it not clear what the topic was?
Like, what's the point of saying something not very clearly? We're talking about figurative language, and sometimes it becomes hard to understand. What's the benefit of saying something in a kind of complex way, like a puzzle? Do you guys ever, have you put together a puzzle before?
Yeah.
Okay, and then at the end, you understand what the picture is, right?
Yeah.
But initially, you might see, like, I don't know what this is. So once you get to the end, you know what it means, right? So what would you think the benefit of having everything broken apart be at first? Yeah, think about it.
So it might make more of a lasting impression or an emphasis, right?
Yeah. So when something's confusing, you have to work through it and think about it. But when you get to the end, you finally understand it, and it has more of an impression and emphasis.